updating the sound system. You know, the computers and all that. So, does yours look like that too? Mine didn't come on.
It'll like flash.
Are your other clients keeping you busy trying to do that?
No. For the most part, I only do bits and pieces for the clients. So whenever we fly around, it's just each of us sort of have one or two. So everybody
Really? Very. You know this firm that was in East Point years ago? When I started working at O2, so they had a firm, William Hickson, who's still around, the attorney, was the first in-house attorney at East Point. Yeah, she was their first hire for in-house attorney, and she was in the Jerome County city manager, and general HR director. Yeah. I can't think of the name of this firm. She wasn't with the firm, but they had all this. This firm, they had all this. They had all of the cities on the south side. There was something that there was somebody that did the sign. And they were working for the sign. Frank Rain, some Rain. Land Rain. Land Rain. You know, I told him, I know Nicole. And he got it sold up too. Yeah.
glory. You know, but they're not
They
serious.
just left in the 13th year.
Let me tell you, I don't know anything about my church. Mine was the Exorcist. The Exorcist is like,
Yeah, that
they got a new one.
the Conjuring though.
And then the other, oh God, they had part one and part two. But anyway, those are the ones that scare me. But Freddy Krueger and, you know.
You like that stuff?
No, I'm like, shoot him.
They tried that.
I don't believe that. You know, Jamie Lee done came back.
What's that?
Jamie Lee Curtis. She came back.
She's in the movie. She's in the new one.
The last two.
Who?
Jamie Lee Curtis, she's in the last two.
Can't you hear her? Runs with the family.
I never think about it. I never think about it. It makes you wonder. It's like, there might be a plot to it.
I was watching the two videos.
I was just gonna like turn my camera off until it's my time and then I'll turn it on.
They put it over. No, that's all. They can fight that.
That just gives you the life right. Well, it's
Where I get it from.
You say you
Good evening, everyone. I was trying to wait on our bell to ring. I didn't hear it ring yet, but it is 7 o'clock, so we are going to go ahead and get started tonight. Our thought for today is most of us spend too much time on what is urgent and not enough time on what's important. That's by Stephen Covey. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order tonight. I'm going to ask if Commissioner Henderson, if you would lead us in our invocation, and I'm going to ask Commissioner Edwards if you would lead us in our pledge.
Amen. Amen. With everyone bow their heads. Amen. God is good. Amen. Come on here, Pastor. Dear Father, once again we come before you with thanksgiving in our hearts, my Father. We come just thanking you for all that you have did for us. And we just thank you most of all for your Son, Jesus Christ, who died on Calvary cross for our sins. And I'm so often reminded of a parable that Jesus had said to his disciples. And it was about some workers. He said, him that is first shall be last, and the last shall be first. And all it really said, my Father, is that no matter when you come to Jesus, you're always on time. Thank you.
Amen.
Good evening, Mr. Chair.
Good evening.
I want to thank everybody for coming to our Newton County Board of Commissioners meeting this evening. The first item on the agenda, Mr. Chair, is item number 4, the adoption of the agenda.
Thank you. We do have a few changes that we need to make before we adopt our agenda tonight. Patrick, would you like to start off?
Mr. Chair, I'm going to recommend that you move to item 8A, executive session. Executive session should be very short. And then 8B will be approval of resolutions authorizing condemnation of parcels 1, 4, 6, and 7 for the I-20 access road project. And to correspond with that, you would remove item 22, which is executive session.
Thank you, sir. Also, we need to remove item 9D on the consent agenda. And with those changes, I seek a motion that we approve our agenda tonight. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Next is citizens' comments. These are opportunities that we allow citizens to make comments about agenda topics only. You have 3 minutes to do so. You can please come at this time. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. You may come at this time. Thank you. These are agenda topics only. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Thank you for being here tonight. Can you pull it?
Wendy Lowe.
Yes, ma'am.
My address is 35 Highwood Drive, Covington 30016. And my comments tonight are about the Arfa funds. I've been a long-time resident of Newton County. My children have been educated here. I've started a business here, Faith and Steam, and I wrote a book, Christian Steam. That's our main product. And having a hard time finding startup funds. I find it Atlanta, other counties, and things like that. But finally, Newton County had it available. The guidelines were very vague. I applied for it, and now I realize that we're getting a consultant, so we're starting all over again. And that's where my concern comes into, because 99% of most black businesses are small mom and pops. and they have only one employee themselves, and they don't have enough revenues, so that way when guidelines come out for different funding, they don't qualify, and that's what's happened to me over and over again. So my concern is that when you're making the guidelines, that you're taking those things into account. And I wanted to know, like, are you going to be looking at different African American organizations within the county to, you know, ask them about the guidelines to get the ideas, the needs of the Black businesses, so that they can actually qualify for the funds? Because otherwise, what's the point? And that was part of the executive order, the 13985, to help those underserved populations with those funds. So I just want to know how they're going to be earmarked to help Black businesses, and not under the terminology of minorities, because when you do that, the numbers get vague. I would like to see that the numbers would be reported accurately, that Black businesses will have a certain access to a certain amount of funds, and every other group that would be under minorities, that would be separated, and that way you could have an accurate accounting of how the funds were used. One of the things that when Black businesses, only about 2.1% of them actually receive a loan for startup funding, and when you only receive, when you don't receive a loan or venture capital, you can't grow very well. But the companies that have received venture capital, they've had like a 30% increase in growth, and then 50% increase in hiring employees. And to solve the Black unemployment problem, if our businesses would scale and grow so we could hire employees, that would help with that deficit. So that's what my concern is, that how are the guidelines going to be structured so that we can qualify for these funds? The other big businesses got to do that with COVID, and a lot of these companies were not able to access those funds. So I'm just interested in how the process is going to take place and what the guidelines are going to look like. And if you have guidelines from when you did this, the consultants have guidelines from how it ended up with the other organizations that they helped with, other municipalities and counties and things like that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much for allowing me to speak tonight.
Yes, ma'am. Anyone else? Anyone else? Thank you. Next is the chairman's report. The chairman's report. We had an opportunity. Well, we want to thank Kevin Walters. He was the director of the landfill, the Solid Waste Authority. He retired after 16 years, so we had a celebration for him, and we thank him for his service to this county as well as the community. I think prior to him being the director at the landfill, he used to be the transportation engineer for the county as well. So thank him for all the time that he has invested here in our community and our county. Next, Miss Martha Malcolm. She just celebrated her 106th birthday. This young lady here, we went over to celebrate with her. She has so much life, so much energy in her. I tell you, she looked like she still arm wrestles and all kind of things. So she was something else. She was a joy to be able to go and sit with. Also, I had the opportunity this week to marry a couple that I've been knowing, a young lady I've been knowing for a long time. It's Dominique Stanley. She wanted to come up here and get married, and so we did that for her and her husband now. They are the Hutchisons, so congratulations to that couple. Upcoming events this week, I will be speaking to the retired teachers organization, their conference this week. I'll be speaking to them. Also, the Bar Association breakfast on October the 7th. We're going to be speaking with them as well. And on October the 8th, we're going to do a community resource forum with State Rep Doreen Carter. I think it's going to be in Rockdale, so we're excited about that as well. October the 29th, we're going to be doing a walk a mile in her shoes again for domestic violence. As you know, domestic violence is still increasing in our community, and we want to do everything we can to support those that have been a victim of domestic violence. Our annual retreat is planned for November the 2nd through the 4th. We want to make sure the commissioners, guys, y'all make note of that. We hope that you guys will be in attendance to that. We look forward to going over some things and seeing how we can help move this community forward. Thank you. Next, the county manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Tonight, we'd just like to report about an upcoming event with our Animal Services Department, free pet vaccination and microchip clinic, which is scheduled for October the 15th from 9 a.m. to 12. That's it for today.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
And Chairman, we have number 8 now, which is actually going to be 8A, the executive session.
Thank you. There is no unfinished business, right? Okay, thank you. Next is executive session 8A. I seek a motion that we move into executive session.
For real estate matters.
For real estate matter, land acquisition. Can I get a second, please? It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Henderson. All in favor? I'm sorry, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All in favor? Okay. It passed 5-0. Thank you. We stand in executive session. We'll be back shortly. It shouldn't take no more than 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you. Guys, I take a motion that we move back into our regular board meeting. Can I get a second, please? It's been motion by Commissioner Sanders and second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion? All in favor? We stand back in our regular meeting. Next on the agenda is item 8B. Mr. Jockstetter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Board item 8B will be a resolution to approve 4 resolutions authorizing the acquisition by condemnation of parcel 1, parcel 4, parcel 6, and parcel 7 of the I-20 Access Road project.
Thank you, sir. Seek a motion, please.
I move that we approve make sure I have the correct information here. The combination of the parcels for the I-20 Access Road project.
Second.
Thank you. It's been motion by Commissioner Sanders and second by Commissioner Cowan. Any discussion? Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. C. I just want everybody to know one reason why I do not support a condemnation. I never have, since I've been on this board, supported a condemnation. Because it's always preceded, in my opinion, the county just somewhat taking somebody's property and just writing you a check out. And I've always thought that hopefully we could have negotiated, in all condemnations, negotiated better with the property owner in order to pay them for what they perceive as the value of their property. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Commissioner Sanders.
Just to put on record, Patrick, our attorney, was there a negotiation process beforehand? Were the owners aware of this process? Just to make sure the residents are aware of how this actually works.
Yes, there is a negotiation process before I come to you.
Thank you. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Thank you. It passes 4-1.
Chairman, the next item on the agenda is item number 9, the consent agenda.
Thank you. We do have some appointments tonight for the Animal Services Board. Miss Denise Stiles, are you here tonight? Denise Stiles. Mr. Marvin Manor, are you here tonight? Ms. Stiles is here? Ms. Stiles. You see her? Oh, okay. Mr. Vernon Bell, are you here tonight? Well, as always, we thank you guys for being willing to serve your community. Thank you so much for your service. I know a couple of these, I think all of these have been serving and they've been reappointed, it looks like. But we don't thank them so much for being willing to serve. With that being said, Commissioners, I seek a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? It passed 5-0.
Mr. Chairman, the next item on the agenda is our presenter, Brittany White, who's the Finance Director. It's item number 10, items for board discussion and consideration. This is the Finance Department is requesting approval of a budget amendment to post budget to match HEAT granted awarded amount and budget allocations. 9E on the consent agenda.
Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I would like to preface that we will probably see more budget amendments like this throughout this year. Usually in the past, the finance director has been able to approve these budget amendments with the budget resolution, but this year when we adopted it, we added a clause that said with board approval. So I just kind of want to give y'all a heads up on that. So the first one is, So this is for the HEAT grant, and basically all we're doing here is we're just recognizing the revenues in our grant purpose fund, and then we're just taking the revenue and just allocating it out to the expenditures. Are there any questions?
Thank you. You guys seek a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Cowan. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Ms. White.
Thank you. So the next one is very similar to the one we just approved. So this is for the JAG grant for the Sheriff's Department, and we're just recognizing the revenues and then dispersing them out to the expenditures. Any questions?
Thank you, ma'am. Guys, I seek a motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's been a motion by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Cowan. Any discussion? All in favor? Passes 5-0.
Mr. Chairman, the next item on the agenda is number 12. Our presenter is Mr. Chester Clegg, Director of Transportation. It's the Newton County Board of Commissioners is requesting support for the Highway 278 CID Project Phase 2 construction. It's adoption of resolution number R100422.
Thank you. Welcome tonight, Chester.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This, as you all know, this project is a larger project than Phase 2. Phase 1 has already been is in the process of having the engineering started, and the board has already committed some funds to that Phase 1 project. This is the Phase 2 project that goes from Emory Street, Highway 81, that crosses 278, all the way to Hospital Drive. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it includes 3 roundabouts and, of course, a continuous median with a few R-cuts for access. Of course, this is in the city of Covington. The county's partnering with the city of Covington and the CID, the Highway 278 CID, to do this project, and as well partnering with GDOT. For Phase 2, it's a $20 million, estimated $20 million project, and GDOT's, they've committed $7.5 million. The city, they've committed, I think they committed $1 million. I think they may have $1.5 million in their SPLOST for the project. The county has put $1 million in the 2023 SPLOST to go before the voters in November. So there's some money coming from ARC. So basically, the county, the city, and the CID would put in the match, and ARC would be putting in their funds, and then GDOT's donating $7.5 million to make up the $20 million. The city did request that the county sign an MOA for additional commitments financially, and so Jarvis and I talked to Patrick at length about it and determined that it would probably be best for the county to commit a fixed sum that was approved in the SPLOST and leave it at that.
Thank you, sir. Guys, I seek a motion, please.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion for the adoption of resolution R100422 as stated by the County Transportation Director.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a second? Can I get a second, please?
I'll second it because I'm attaching discussion on it.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Cowan. Any discussion?
Yes.
Commissioner Cowan.
It's my understanding these are going to have roundabouts at each intersection. Is that correct?
At the major intersections. It would,
So that would be, you said 3 roundabouts.
Pace Street, I think there'd be Alcovey and Hospital Avenue. Phase 1 includes a roundabout at 81. So that one's taken care of.
So 81,
Pace Street, then
Alcovey,
and
what about Mill Street?
well, there'll be one at Hospital Avenue. Yes.
Is there gonna be one at Mills?
Hold on one second. Can you come up to the podium, please?
I'm just trying to figure out what we're buying over here.
Yes, this phase 2, a part of the project goes from Emory Street to Hospital Drive, and they will be putting roundabouts at Hay Street, Elm and Alcovey, and Mill Street. So 3 roundabouts for phase 2.
And phase 1 has already got
2 roundabouts.
2 roundabouts.
And a signalized turn lane at West Drive.
Okay. Quick question. How big are these things gonna be? Because I know the one at Turner Lake that we built really ain't big enough anymore. And I know the one at 212 and 36 ain't big enough. Now, the one they built down at 142 and 278 is actually a really good size, feasible. What size are they going to be, Chester?
These are going to be I'm sorry.
You go ahead. It don't matter.
These are going to be 2-lane roundabouts comparable to the one at 142, except
Okay.
there'll be 2 lanes all the way around.
Okay. That's all I got.
Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, can we get some perspective on the timing of this ask relative to the vote of the upcoming SPLOST? I mean, how does this? Explain for everyone how this timing works out here.
Well, the $1 million obviously is contingent on the SPLOST passing. So GDOT, to get the $7.5 million from GDOT, the commitment, they're wanting a letter from the CID. And the CID is asking for a commitment from the county for the $1 million. And that's why they're coming to the board tonight to get the resolution.
So
they're trying to program.
Can I get you to speaking to the microphone?
The state has programmed this $7.5 million in their budget. It's actually construction will be sometime around 2028, 2029. But they have to program those dollars that far ahead in their strategic plan. And if we're not going to support the project, then they'll give those dollars to someone else. And so, they're just program their funds at that far ahead. Their $7.5 million is coming from the IIJA funding that the state receives, not part of the program dollars that we apply for.
So to continue, the state will not continue without our support and without that $1 million from the county. Is that correct?
They won't continue without the support from the CID and a comfort level that there's money available to pay the matching funds. And some of that would be the $1 million coming from the county, at least $1 million from the city, and then $1 million from the CID.
And this vote could not wait until after the SPLOST. So in the event the SPLOST does not pass and we voted this up, where does that leave the county?
Well, it is contingent on the SPLOST pass, and so if the SPLOST does not pass, the county is not committed to coming up with $1 million for the project.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Sims.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and that's what I wanted to emphasize to the board, that this is contingent upon SPLOST passing. If it does not pass, there's no commitment from the county.
Thank you. Commissioner Sanders.
I want to echo a little bit what Commissioner Edwards was stating, and I would probably like to hear from our county manager, because in my opinion, I believe we should do this after the SPLOST is passed and the citizens have spoken, but I definitely would like to hear from our county manager on why we cannot wait until after SPLOST, when the citizens have voted, because the $1 million is contingent on the SPLOST. Not county manager, I'm sorry, I'm saying county attorney. I'm sorry, Mr. Sim.
Well, if the board chooses to wait, the board certainly can wait. It is my understanding, however, that the state's budgeting process is ongoing now, and that the state agencies have indicated that they want to see the support from the local governments now as opposed to later in the year. But, I mean, I'll tell you, I'm more concerned about this board and its money than I am about the state's project. But I suppose it is possible. I can't speak with any certainty because the county's not the local government sponsor of this project, so we don't really have any direct involvement with either GDOT or the ARC on the project. But I suppose there is a risk that if you don't adopt a resolution like this, I suppose there's a risk the state doesn't program these funds. I don't know how, I can't tell you how substantial that risk is. I will tell you that if there is something unusual about this request, it is that an agency other than the sponsoring agency is being asked to voice its support for a project. It's very common in the world of these big road improvement projects that the sponsoring local government has to adopt a resolution expressing support. It's less common that a non-sponsoring government like you have to adopt a similar resolution. I would say from a legal standpoint, this resolution has very little, if any, impact on you because you will, if SPLOST passes, you are already obligated as a matter of law to contribute this money to this project because it's the designated SPLOST project. And if the SPLOST does not pass, you're under absolutely no obligation to contribute a dime. So from a legal impact on this board, there's little, if any, legal impact as a result of adopting this resolution.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Commissioner Cowell.
Thank you. Kathy, you can probably answer this. Seems like I saw a rendering of this at some point. Could you get those and maybe bring them to the board meeting so it refresh everybody's memory of what those things look like and kind of how that's going to look? It's been a long time since we've seen that. So whenever you can. Thank you.
I can do that.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? You want to state your reason why?
My reasoning being I'm not against the roundabouts or 278. I want to put that on record. The citizens, residents, have stated they did not want 5 roundabouts on one road. And I'm looking at everybody out here shaking their heads. They did not want this project or be on 278 constantly going around roundabouts. So it put me on the edge because I'm listening to the citizens and the residents of Newton County, and then I'm looking at the splash is not even approved yet. So as I stated, it has nothing to do with the individual 278 or the roundabouts. It's just that I don't agree also with 5 roundabouts being on 278. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I probably would avoid 278 once it's put out there. But I'm just, that's why I'm on the fence with this, so I could not place a vote to this.
Thank you. It passed 4-1 abstention.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the next item on the agenda is item number 13, also being presented by Mr. Chester Clay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
The county received bids on the Yellow River Bridge project on September 20th. The county had previously bid out this project. The low bidder was able to back out of the project, and we had to rebid it to make sure that we, are legal with all the for receiving the federal funds from ARC and other state laws. So we rebid the project, and the low bidder was Wright Brothers Construction at $9.5 million, $9,550,000, $693.97. And so requesting tonight that the board approve the award of the contract to Wright Brothers for that amount.
I seek a motion, please.
Well, we got to have that bridge fixed. So I want to recommend motion to approve the Wright Brothers Construction Company project number PI 0015096.
Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Cowan and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? Commissioner Sanders.
Yes, just a quick question for, well, actually a statement for records. Was there a bid done and how many actually submitted for the bid, if there was?
There were 4 bidders, and Wright Brothers was the lowest of the 4. They went all the way up to, I think the highest bid was $10.3 million. So they were very close. It was a good set of bids.
Okay, thank you.
That was actually my question. I was about to ask. But I'm going to go a little further. Chester, do you know the name of the other companies that actually bid?
I do.
Can
It
I
was 3 other reputable companies. E.R. Snell. We had CMES, and as you may...
Who is that?
CMES. As you may be aware, they are the ones who we contracted with to do the Snap and Shoals bridge replacement recently. And then Georgia Bridge and Concrete.
All right. Any more discussion? More? All in favor? It passes 5-0.
Mr. Chairman, the next item on the agenda is item number 14, a public hearing and final consideration of partial abandonment and conveyance of Fairfield Road, resolution number 090622A.
Mr. Jockster, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Board, you may remember last month you approved what we refer to as the Step 1 resolution for the abandonment of Fairfield Road. Brian, can you put that? Tonight is the opportunity to actually abandon the road. You have in front of you and up on the screen the survey of the portion of Fairfield Road to be abandoned. It is where Fairfield Road makes a sort of a gentle left turn, turns into Todd Drive. There is a plat of survey showing Fairfield Road extending in a roughly southern direction for about 275, 350 feet. That road is not in use, it does not exist. And there was a request made from Mr. Maloney, who is the property owner to the west, for the board to consider the abandonment, and that's what it's here for you today. If you approve the resolution, what we will do is provide for the conveyance, this is pursuant to Georgia law, provide for the conveyance of the 2 halves of the property, which are shown, one with the little tiny dots and one with the crosshatches, to the adjoining property owners. I know one of the questions that will be asked is there a dollar amount associated with this conveyance? There is not. Mr. Maloney has been the property owner. We require him to pay the costs associated with the abandonment. This property has nominal value at best. Because of its shape, it can be put to no independent use. And Georgia law specifically calls for a conveyance like this when the property is of such size and shape that it has no meaningful use. So if you approve the resolution tonight, after a public hearing, what you will be authorizing is both the abandonment of that right-of-way and the conveyance of those 2 parcels to the adjacent landowners. I'll take any questions if there are before you do the public hearing, if there's any. None?
Let's do the public hearing. They may have some. It is approximately 7:48. We're going to open it up now for our public hearing. The applicant and those in favor, I guess the applicant is the county, but if you are in favor tonight, you have 10 minutes to come and speak tonight, please. Ma'am, please, sir, state your name for the record, please. You may come at this time if you're in favor tonight.
Thank you very much. Greg Maloney, yes, I am one of the adjacent property owners of this, and the one to our right is the Fairfield Racket Club. I've lived out there for 27 years now. And when I bought the property, I saw the road that was there, and it had no surface of any value at all. And actually, I maintain it myself, keeping it cut and clean. So I hope you guys will approve this, because it's not gonna cost the county anything. I paid for the surveys to be done, for the property, and, I appreciate if y'all pass it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Anyone else want to speak in favor tonight? Anyone else want to speak in favor tonight? Anyone else want to speak in favor tonight? That portion of our public hearing is closed. We also allow 10 minutes for those that would like to oppose tonight. You may come at this time. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Anyone want to oppose tonight? Anyone wants to oppose tonight? Anyone wants to oppose tonight? Thank you. That portion of our public hearing is closed. This is in District 5. Commissioner Calvin.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the partial abandonment and conveyance of Fairfield Road in Resolution 0906228 as reported by the county attorney.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Cowan and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. It passed 5-0.
Mr. Chair, the next item we have is item number 15. It's discussion, recommendations from Arfa Consultants.
Thank you. Mr. Sims.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Tonight, we have our consultants, our parametrics here to provide recommendations using our ARPA funds. I'd like to emphasize that we did have conversations and discussions with the consultants, making them aware that these are simply recommendations before the board, and the board still has the final decision on utilizing ARPA funds. Tonight, we have Ms. Kennedy Shannon here with us, and please go ahead and get started, Ms. Shannon.
Ms. Shannon, you may need to turn it down just a tad bit. We can. You may need to turn it your YouTube down just a little bit. We can hear you, but we hear the YouTube that's playing in the back. You may have to turn it off. Yes.
Is that better?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, good evening, Commissioner. As stated, I am back. I promise with some recommendations. And first and foremost, I just want to say that in coming up with these recommendations, the things that we looked at were the individual priorities that were identified on each commissioner's individual list. We also took a look at and kept in mind all of the ARPA regulations, and then we also included any programmatic best practices that we've seen across the country in making these recommendations. I don't know how you wanted to do this, if you wanted to go line by line with the recommendations, or if you wanted to ask questions about certain items, because I believe you guys got a copy of these recommendations in advance.
We're gonna try to fix the volume if we possibly can, because it's kind of hard to understand what you're saying. Let's try it again now.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Okay. So would you like me to go line by line with each of the recommendations, or would you like to just ask questions about a particular item?
I think we probably. Let's go. Let's start off going line by line.
Okay. So starting off line by line, we've got Women Covered Medical Services. This is something that has already gone out. This is a financial assistance to the organization to provide medical services to very low-income individuals or those with no insurance in the county. Second was Eastpoint Mental Health. Again, these dollars have already gone out. This is a financial assistance to provide mental health services to residents in the county. Next, we've got the COVID vaccination and census program. Commissioner Saunders has sent an email letting us know that this is still something that's needed for the community. So we did a recommendation of a total of $50,000, which would provide $50 gift cards for county residents who get their first vaccination shot. So we want this money to kind of incentivize those individuals who are not vaccinated.
Let me jump in. Let me jump in right quick. Can you hear me?
Were there any questions regarding that?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
So, I'm thinking we're gonna have to do a special call meeting to kind of get you here in person, because the commissioners and I myself, I'm having a hard time really understanding what you're saying. And so I think we probably need to get you here in person so we can make sure there's no issues. I would like to do that. So I'm gonna ask that we table this and then call a special call meeting to get them here in person so they can present this to the board.
That works. No objection to that. I will say we were planning to be on site the 19th to the 21st to do an audit of some of the organizations that have already received funding. So I don't know if you wanted to take that time for you to present in, or if you wanted to come sooner or later, but whatever you guys want, I think I'm available.
What did they want?
You said you'll be here later this month on the 19th, you said?
Yes, the 19th to the 21st. So that's a Wednesday to a Friday.
Okay. So I'm gonna call a special call meeting so that we can have this in person. Because I know the commissioners, they are lining up with questions already, because I'm already seeing hands up and commissioners asking me because they got questions already. So it would be better if you was here in person. So let's do that. I'm gonna ask for a motion to table this. If I can get that from a commissioner.
So moved. Second.
It's been motioned that we table this, and we'll call a special call meeting on one of those days. It's been second. It was a motion by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? Let's table. Let's table so we can actually get the information that we need. Everybody can hear it. All in favor? Thank you. It's staying tabled. We'll let you know. We'll get with me. All right. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, the next item on the agenda is item number 16, discussion of our warming shelters.
Thank you. The warming shelter, 2 years ago, we partnered with the city of Covington. We didn't last year, but we did the year before. We partnered with the city of Covington to provide a warming shelter for the homeless. And we know that we are coming back up on our winter months. I actually had an opportunity to talk to Commissioner Henderson I think yesterday. We know that we are coming back up on our winter months, and we want to make sure that we are ahead of the game this time. The city of Covington is looking to partner with the county as well to make sure that we provide a safe place for those that are out in the cold. I honestly think that we need a warming and cooling center. Those are my thoughts. I think we need a warming and cooling center because in the summertime you get those 100-degree days. But right now we're dealing with the warming shelter because we're coming up on the winter months. So I'm asking the board if we can partner with the city of Covington to provide a warming shelter. And I think we partnered with Pastor Clarolette to do that. Isn't that right, Commissioner? The last time? I think we did. We partnered with Pastor Clarolette to help provide those services. So I'm asking the board, I want to get what your thoughts are on this particular issue. Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I think that's an excellent idea. However, you know, I think that, at least I think last winter when I was taking people to the warming shelter, at least the one that I took them to here in town, was Grace United Methodist Church. And they had a warming shelter at the bottom of their church. And then they had some bins, and still had the bins and stuff on the outside where they had clothing and stuff like that, and they bathed them, and then they, I think, then they took them to the doctor or whatever and signed them up for homes or jobs, whatever they may be, or whatever the person, he or she may have needed. Then they had security. They had security also there. I think it was security. It wasn't the City of Cleveland Police Department, but it was paid security to keep them. And then they had what's it called? A mental health provider who were there in case there was any mental health issues. I tell you where I think I'm at, is that, you know, we need a place. We need a place for them to come, because there's a whole lot of folks coming from Atlanta and wherever, because they're running, I won't say running them, but they're saying we want you to kind of move from Atlanta, and so they're coming down this way. And you can constantly see them when you're sleeping on the corner of the store, at the corner in the yard, by the store, at the old Rite Aid, in the woods. You see them walking and pushing buttons, you know, heat more than we used to see. But I think right now, especially since we're going through, and I say it, since we're kind of going through this issue with the Salvation Army as far as the monies, and monies funds have been kind of, so let's not reinvent anything. I think right now, I think what we need to do is we need to partner with the City of Covington, make sure that we help them this winter, and then together, when it comes back to the summertime, let's get back with them and let's try to find some property if we want to do a place that we can make really sufficient is for them to take them there so that the people will be safe, and kind of work together to make something really nice. This is a problem that we're going to see more and more of, no matter what we may do. So let's don't reinvent. Okay, so let's not reinvent the warming shelters. Let's partner with the City of Covington, help them for this winter cold season that's coming up, and then together between there and then, let's figure out where we might want to put them. That's just my suggestion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. So the City of Covington last year partnered with Willing Helpers. We partnered with Willing Helpers this year already to the sum of $672,000. That's what we gave Willing Helpers out of the Arfa funds. You know, like I said, the first time we did this, we did partner with Pastor Lett and her team. First time we did that. Now, we didn't partner with the City of Covington last year. They didn't ask for our help, but they did ask this year that we partner with them in some form or fashion. I did want to put that out there, Commissioner Sanders.
I just have a few questions. I sit on the Family Connection Board. This was actually one discussion, and Willing Helpers actually did a presentation about the warming center. So my question is, I have two actually. What is the cost that we're trying to allocate to start a new warming shelter versus the one that's already in place? Is there a cost or to do this? If we're talking about partnership, what does the partnership look like?
We partner with the City of Covington. I think it was $30,000 each. Now, yeah, the county gave 30, the city gave 30.
That wasn't a warming shelter. That was for the roof.
Oh, yeah, for the warming shelter.
That wasn't a warming shelter. Yeah, it was to prepare. It wasn't a warming shelter. Because last year we did the City of Covington did the warming shelter last year. Because I remember we actually talked about doing one, and and we said that the city of Covington already had one in the place. I don't know if y'all did that before I came on board, but I know last year we did it with the city of Covington.
I would really have to check that because, the city of Covington, that $60,000, I think that was for the warming shelter, because when you say it's for the roof now, understand that that building is not a, it's owned by the housing authority, so I don't see the county or the city of Covington donating money for that roof, but.
So maybe we need to pull the minutes to verify.
But what we can do, all we're trying to do is find a way to help. So what we can do, we can authorize the county manager, who's over operations, to work directly with the city of Covington and their city manager, and bring back a proposal to the board. That's what needs to be done, because if we'll all be up here guesstimating with no information. So if we're looking for an approval tonight to approve for the county manager to go back and work with the city manager to bring back a recommendation to the board.
Can I continue?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If we can get our clerk to pull the minutes from when we did give those 30,000, I wasn't here on board, so I'm asking for clarification from me. So I wasn't here when y'all voted for that, but I do remember reading in the paper that it was for the roof, and I could be wrong. But so I would like to maybe get the minutes, because I want to be correct, because like I said, I wasn't here, that was you guys. So, but I just want to know what the partnership consists of, and if we're giving funding, where is the money coming from? Is that coming out of Arfa? Is that coming from where is this funding? What budget is it coming out of?
All of that can come back from the county manager when he does his research. Right now, we're looking to ask the county manager to go out and bring back a recommendation to the board.
Well, all due respect, Mr. Chairman, it says discussion, so I was just trying to
that's what
ask what was in our mind, what was the thought process when we put this on the agenda, where the funding was going to come from.
So go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If it's approved by the board, possible contingency would be the funding source.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I did want to provide a level of clarity. I think initially when we talked about this, the $30,000 where we're going to partner with the city of Covington, I think it was originally presented to us that it was going to be to kind of help with the tornado issue. But I think in the end, those funds could not have been used for that, because the housing authority does have insurance, and that location is owned by the housing authority. And so the housing authority would have utilized their insurance company to actually come in and actually take care of that. So I think originally we thought that that's what it was, but I think it wasn't presented to us accurately. We just wanted to make sure that we were able to help during that time in whatever capacity that we could. And so we did give that $30,000 to partner with the city of Covington, but I know for sure they did not utilize it for the actual roof, because there was an insurance company that would have taken care of that. So I just wanted to provide clarity on my behalf onto that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any more discussion?
You want to table this, or you want to get a resolution to approve working with the city of Covington?
Yep, we want a motion to approve for our county manager to go back and bring back a recommendation to the board. And he can
make that motion.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Cowan and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Stand. Pass 5-0.
Mr. Chairman, we have item number 17, which is the alcohol beverage license. Number 17 is the final reading. Convenience Stores Incorporated, DBA JP Potts, 15524 Highway 36 in Covington, Georgia, 30014. The licensee is Kenneth Johnson for District 1.
you, Mr. Chair. This is a motion to approve the final reading of Convenience Stores Incorporated doing business as J.P. Potts, 15524 Highway 36, Covington, Georgia 30014. Kenneth Johnston with the license.
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0.
Mr. Chair, we have number 18, which is the first reading. We have Bahrain Investors LLC, DBA Crowell Road, Valero, 11280 Brown Bridge Road, Covington, Georgia, 30016. The licensee is Alpesh Kumar Patel in District 3.
Thank you, ma'am. Number 19. Number 19.
Okay. Number 19, Mr. Chair, is the first reading as well. Elite Conveyance LLC, DBA Quick Spot and or Marathon, 10260 Highway 36, Covington, Georgia, 30014. The licensee is Duval Desai in District 5.
Thank you so much. Next is item number 20, citizen comments. This is the opportunity we let citizens make comments. You have 3 minutes to do so. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. You may come at this time.
Good afternoon. My name is Beverage. I live at 3171 Stone Mountain Street, Covington. I just want to know what's the purpose of the roundabout, because I live off 278. So I just want to know what's the purpose of it. I sit in city council meeting last night and I listened to what they were saying. If y'all hadn't approved what y'all was approving, and they didn't come up with the money, we had one person suggest they put on our back for us to pay for it. So I just really want to know what's the purpose, because it's like we live in this county. A lot of us was born in this county. So why is it that we don't have a say-so about what's going on in this county? You know, we get out and vote, and if it don't pass, if the splash don't pass, then I know nothing's gonna come of it. But if the splash does pass, then our money will be put on 278 for the roundabouts. So why is it that you can't help the senior citizens fix up their homes and do the things that they need to do? Because that's all they got. They're on a fixed income, and you got some young people that are out there struggling, trying to buy houses and stuff. So I just want to know, can y'all explain to me what's the purpose of us putting our money in a roundabout? I mean, it don't make no sense to me. Y'all may look at things different from what I look at. So I don't see the purpose of the roundabout, because who is it helping? You got a board that got together and they decide for us what they gonna do for us. So when do we get to decide when we want what we think is best for us? Thank y'all.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be brief. Thursday night at Stewart Community Church, our tax assessor's office, Ms. Kennard, and her staff will be at Stewart Community Church. And it's that address, that address is 13645 Highway 36. It's south of Covington. She and her team will be there to make sure that citizens, it's an info session. It's an info session hosted by myself, not just for District 1, it's for any citizen of the county that wants to attend. She's going to be sure to explain our current tax assessment process, and especially for our seniors and our veterans, all available exemptions. Make sure that our citizens are taking care of or taking advantage of the available exemptions in terms of their property taxes. But I just want to let everybody know that we're having that Thursday night at 6 o'clock at Stewart Community Church on Highway 36 south of Covington. Everybody's welcome. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Well, one other thing, I'm sorry. I do want to put in a plug for roundabouts. I drive the corridor described by the CID from beyond the hospital to Emory Street and beyond, probably at least 4 times a day. And I understand the congestion issue that exists there to the fullest extent. I'm also I've experienced the roundabout, a good roundabout at Highway 142 and 278, whereas 2-3 years ago it was impossible to pull from Highway 142 south onto Highway 278 to come to town. Now it is very, very possible. And as a matter of fact, we've got two roundabouts back to back. The school installed one, the new high school installed one, and the state installed the really big roundabout. And they, once everybody learns how to use those, they're really, really helping the traffic flow. I was very skeptical, but I've been very pleasantly surprised. And these are going to be 2 lanes in Covington. Will take a little patience to understand those, and for people to understand how to use those. But I believe something's got to be done within that quarter, and I believe those will be the answer. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to echo in regards to the roundabouts. I know that at Salem Road and Highway 81, we didn't have a roundabout initially. And before that roundabout was actually placed there, it was highly congested all the time. I mean, cars would be backed up in all 4 directions. But now, since that roundabout has actually been installed in that area, you see an easier flow of traffic. You don't see a lot of congestion, and you don't hear of a high volume of accidents. So, to my understanding, the objective of having a roundabout is really to help traffic flow. So that it's not congested. A lot of times when you're sitting at a traffic light, you can be sitting there for 2-3 minutes or so, where this way the traffic just continues to flow and you're not having to actually sit there at an actual traffic light. And then it also reduces the amount of accidents, of course, once everybody understands how that roundabout works, how it operates, how it flows. It really reduces that as well. And I can be corrected if I'm incorrect. When we talk about the amount of roundabouts on 278, I don't believe that they are right there next to each other. I believe that there is quite a distance between them so that you can kind of help that continual flow down 278. Anybody can correct me if I'm incorrect. But I believe that there's quite a bit of distance between each one. And it's really just to help that traffic flow and to reduce the amount of car accidents. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This weekend, I had some individual teachers as well as some parents actually reach out to me because they heard about us helping another program in the school system. So there's a lot of teachers and parents that are starting to contact me in regards to our Arfa funds. So I did take the liberty to reach out to our BOE and our superintendent to find out how we can partner or work together. And I also asked the question, what did they do with their funds? So they did send me the list, and I will forward that over to everyone based on the list of what they did with their funds, because I had this week in Newton High School, they said they hadn't had band uniforms in 20 years. I had one teacher who said she's trying to send her band to a competition, and it was only $500. So they were reaching out to assist. It was a lot more programs. So because we have helped others, they're looking at the BOC to assist them. So I don't know, Mr. County Manager, if you could reach out to our BOE and superintendent to see how we can help or not help come together to see what we can do to, because it's about the kids. If we're sitting here worrying about who's going to do what, the kids are going to be the ones that suffer. So I don't know what we can do, and I know we only have a certain amount of ARPA funds. So I just wanted to put that out there. This weekend also, we had the second annual Newton County Ladies Retreat, and we had over 115 women and some dignitaries in the room. It was a great event. I was excited. It was for ladies who was up from ages 10 and up, a free event for those in the county, and I'm looking forward to next year. I was excited about the event. We had 4 speakers to speak on our mind, body, and soul, catering to women, because as we know, as women, sometimes we do a lot for a lot of people, but we forget about self-care. So they actually talked to us about that, and it was a moment of inspiration amongst women. So I am excited about that, and I am also thankful for the committee that worked with me to make my idea come to fruition, because I can do none of this by myself. So I thank the committee for that as well. On December 3rd, we're going to write the vision and make it plain at the Newton Vision Board Party. So bring all of your materials. We're going to get together to write the vision, to make sure we speak everything to existence, to have something laid out. I was telling them before I ran for office, I actually put on the board that I was going to be the next commissioner of Newton County District 3. And it came to fruition. I didn't put down that I was going to be elect Elena Sanders. I put down Commissioner Elena Sanders. So you have to speak it into existence and see it for yourself. So we're going to come together, and we're going to make sure we write the vision and make it plain. In honor of Newton High School homecoming game, I went there to their homecoming game. Congratulations to the crowning of the new homecoming king and queen, Ms. Janae Moore and Mr. Christopher Goga. To all the young ladies and gentlemen who were selected by their peers to be on the homecoming court, congratulations to you as well.
Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was very excited a few months ago, even though it seemed like our Arthur Farms now took a left turn and went somewhere and sat there and rested for a while. I was very excited about the fact that we were helping people who really needed help. People who had mortgage, who were behind, people who had rental assistance, and utility assistance. I was saddened, I think, when got in church one evening by the county manager, interim county manager Sims, that some of the funds were missing, and I was advised that our term was not going to sign any more checks until we kind of found out maybe we're going to sign any more checks. I was encouraged this afternoon when I guess you look at Facebook and people called me, and they said that whomever it was, that they are in Newton County facility, and so I'm hoping that we will have an executive meeting if it calls for that. Maybe Patrick can tell us what we need to do, and kind of be updated on that and see exactly who all received those funds that they wouldn't be receiving, those extra checks that they weren't supposed to be getting, and see exactly how much money that had been stolen from the fund that was really to help people. And so let us try to the best of our ability, this board, not to stop helping people, because it's not their fault that somebody wanted to take funds, but let's continue to help people. And it's my understanding that if we don't spend some of the funds by December 31st, let's go back to Joe Biden and the federal government. And we don't want that. So let's do what we can to make sure that people get help who need help, and especially our kids and our seniors.
Commissioner Cowell. Thank you, sir. I seek a motion that we adjourn, please. Come on. Can I get a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Henderson. All in favor?